What up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. You already know who it is Ron Time from Metroholics, and today we got a couple things planned. First and foremost, I gotta stop by the PO to drop off some orders. So thank you guys for ordering off of Zilvia, eBay, and my website, savageones.bigcartel.com. Again, that's savageones.bigcartel.com. Right here. It helps me out, and more importantly, it helps out the channel. So thank you guys once again. For today, besides going to the PO, we are going to mount up the S13 keyring light because I'm getting a lot of questions on how to mount it up. Specifically, trying to find the positive lead for the keyring. There's multiple ways to do it, depending on how you want the keyring light to operate. That's pretty much what's going to determine how you're going to wire it up. So for today, we're going to do it on the S13 specifically. For the S14, guys, it's kind of different when it comes to the wiring, but the concept is the same when you try to find the positive lead. All you're going to need is a test light and or a multimeter, and you're good to go. So let's get to it. Alright guys, so here it is out the package. If you did order the keyring light from me, what you will get is one keyring light, the bulb harness, either the green OEM halogen bulb or the LED bulb, pending the color of your choice. The only difference from this setup, you either may or may not receive this little white connector here, but the white connector really isn't important. What really is the length of wire that comes off of the bulb holder for the harness itself, and the wire that I gave you is sufficient enough for you to wire it up to your vehicle. Alright guys, so if you did purchase the LED bulb option and you notice that once you wire everything up, the LED bulb doesn't fire up, it's a simple fix. All you gotta do is remove the LED bulb, rotate the LED bulb 180, and reinsert into the bulb holder. The LED bulb runs on polarity, so the positive needs to be connected to a positive and the negative needs to be connected to a negative. But if you did receive, or if you did go with the OEM halogen bulb, it doesn't really matter. You just have to make sure you have a positive and a ground, and that's it. Also, as an added side note, I don't know if you probably can't see it, but there's a ring right here, and that pretty much is what operates the LED. If you notice that the bulb holder, it's right there, this is where it screws into, the LED doesn't really fit straight unless you really have a straight shot. So what you can do is when you install it, you just want to angle the bulb like so, push into the keyring, and then twist. So it's a little bit of a tight fit, but the bulb fits. So again, to remove it, you just want to do opposite. You want to angle it out and pull out the bulb. Insert the bulb. You want to do this right here. Push in, rotate to lock, and you're good to go. Alright, so now let's go ahead and wire this up. Alright, so here's the steering wheel column. And in order to meddle with the wiring, you do need to remove the upper and lower steering wheel column trim. If it is your first time removing it, just to add a side note on here, there are a total of 6 screws that you have to remove. So there's 1 right there, 2, 3, 4, 5 right there, 6 right there. You need to remove that in order to disassemble the upper and lower trim. To be honest with you, I don't even use the screws. The only reason why is because if you have a good condition steering wheel column trim, it actually clicks into place without having screws to hold it in place. So I don't even do it. And also, I'm always messing around here, wiring and all that stuff, that it's irritating to remove 6 screws, to remove the lower portion and the upper portion, put it back together, put the screws back. So for me, in my personal car, I don't even put these screws back on. They're just irritating. So you can or you may not leave it out, totally up to you. Let's go ahead and find this positive wire. Alright, so as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, there are multiple ways of wiring this thing up. Just depends on how you want to wire it up. So for my instance, I'm going to be wiring it to the headlight stock, so that when you turn the headlights on, the ring illuminates and you'll be able to find the ignition cylinder. So with that being said, this right here is the harness for the headlight stock. So now all we got to do now is figure out which one of these 4 wires here will give me power when I rotate the headlight stock. So let's go ahead and set that up, figure out which wire it is. Alright, so this is a test light. So if you guys don't know what this is, basically you got an alligator clip and you got a probe. The alligator clip pretty much clips onto anything negative, so pretty much anything metal onto the car. And then what the probe does is that you can insert the probe to the back of the harness, touching the pin, and if the light turns on, which is inside here, then that tells you that that is a positive wire. If the light's off, it doesn't necessarily mean it's a ground. Maybe it's not active. You either have to turn the ignition switch on for it to get active power, or, you know, i.e. for this instance, turn the headlight stock to receive power. So just because it doesn't light up doesn't technically mean that it's a power, or that it is not power. Again, we are looking for a switched power source. So basically we're looking for anything that is triggered by a switch, as we do not want to connect to constant 12 volts, because what happens with a constant 12 volts is that the light will stay on even when the car is off, and then obviously your battery will drain, and that's a no-go. So we are making sure we find a switch 12 volt source. So this will come in handy. You can use a multimeter. It does the same thing. You turn on the light, you should get 12 volts on the switch. You turn it off, the volts should go back to 0. So voltmeter is also a good option, but for the guys who really don't want to invest, this is a perfect tool to use to find a switch power source, or basically a positive wire within the vehicle. The ground, the alligator clip is clipped onto the actual steering wheel column itself, metal, so it's, as you can see right there, the probe in one hand. And what you're going to do is, the car is off, there's no power, I don't have the key in the ignition whatsoever. What you're going to do is you're going to probe the back of the harness, trying to touch the pin, and if the light turns on, that's going to signify constant power. And that is a source that you do not want to tap into, because if you hook up the keyring light to that source, your keyring light will be on, draining the battery, and that's not a good thing. So this right here is constant power, so I'm going to show you. So this is the black wire. The black wire doesn't necessarily mean ground, so this is also why you need to learn how to do this. So we'll go ahead and tap into that. See how that bulb turned on? Again, I'll do it again. So that right there signifies constant power. You don't want that. So we keep probing to figure out which one is a viable option. I already probed it, so I know that this pink one that you see here is power as well, constant. And this like brown one right here, which is right next to the pink, that's also constant as well. The only one that doesn't turn on is this green one right here. So I'm going to go ahead and probe the green one, touching it. As you can see, no light. So this may be the option right here. Again, no light. This one, lights. The green one, no light. So I just checked it. As soon as I turned the headlight stock to the off position, that green wire here no longer received power. So that is the go-to wire. Now all you got to do is translate that to this part of the harness, since it has a little bit more wire for us to mess with. And this is where we're going to get the power source for the keyring light. And the ground, again, can be anywhere on the car. So that is to your choosing and to your liking. This is only one option. There are more options out there, but this is how I'm going to do it. Alright, so I went ahead and just stripped the tape and also the little wire loom protector off of the back half of that harness. So right here. And now all we're going to do is just find the corresponding wire on this harness here, because we just have a little bit more wire to play with to get a good little solid connection for the positive lead So that's the next task. Let's get to it. I was able to find out that this orange and black wire is the wire that has the same operation as the green wire here. So we're going to go ahead and tap into this wire here, and that's going to supply switched power to the keyring light, and then negative will be just placed anywhere on the car, and that should complete the install. So there you have it. Power source is all hooked up, taped it for extra protection. I'm going to go ahead and put that wire loom protector back on. I went ahead and heat shrinked the connector for the harness. Remember guys, you may or may not receive this, but since I have it, I'm going to just go ahead and use it. But the heat shrink is just so that this piece doesn't come undone. And there you go. So now this right here, I'm not really going to protect this wire. It's a ground, so who cares? If it grounds out, the light turns on. At least I know. This one I'm not really concerned about. This is the power wire, which I am concerned about. Doesn't get a fair amount of movement, but always like to protect your positive wires whenever you're anywhere near metal. So there it is, already hooked up. Now what we're going to do is hook up to ground, and then I'm going to show you the finished product. Driver's side, I'm missing the kick panel. So just for visual options, this right here is what holds, it's like a little bracket. It's actually screwed into the metal of the car. This is your TCU control unit. So I'm just pretty much going to be using this as a ground. Going to unscrew it and put a connector so that I can connect the wire to this ground right here, and that's going to be the ground for the keyring light. There you go. This is the positive wire right here. This is the negative wire. I went ahead and rewrapped the whole wire harness with the OEM wire loom protector. So I went ahead and did that. You know me, when it comes to wiring, I like it nice and tight. I like it nice and clean. So it's the best I could do. It looks pretty clean to me. Ground wire runs above the lower trim of the dash, and then you can't really see it, but in info you see a little blue wire right there. That is the ground. So there it is, guys. Gonna go ahead and button it up and then show you the final product. So it's all buttoned up. I know it's kind of sunny, so you might not be able to see the full function of this light. So obviously no key in the ignition, upper and lower trim is back on, and this is pretty much what you do. You just go in your car, go ahead and just turn on this, and there you go. You'll be able to find your key ring. And there you have it, guys. That's how you wire it up on S13. The S14 may be a little bit different just because the wiring is kind of different on that vehicle, but the process is the same of trying to find what wire you really need. On the S14, I know those cars for sure came with a courtesy light, so your main bet is to hit up that courtesy light positive wire to power up your positive wire for your LED, and ground it to anywhere in the car, and you should be good to go. S13s, again, if you do have a courtesy light, go ahead and use that one, because then as soon as you open your door, the light will turn on. But if you don't have a courtesy light, this is another option to use the headlight stock. Since it is on a switch, it's not going to be on constant. Again, boom, there you have it. Cool thing to have, you know, some added swag points, I should say, spicing up the interior. It's customizable. You can pretty much pick any color as long as the LED bulb is available. You know, I have LED bulb options are blue, white, yellow, which looks like an amber color but a little bit of a yellow color tint to it, and red. I do have purple. I do have other colors as well. But yeah, it's another part that you can customize and make it your own. So again, thank you guys for watching the video. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the purchases. Again, either on Zovia, eBay, or my website, savageones.bigcartel.com. Again, that's savageones.bigcartel.com. More importantly, it helps out the channel so I can come out with new content and all that. But yeah, as always, you already know what it is. Hype is for the moment, and style is forever. Deuces.